This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
I feel like by far the most interesting part about being on the bookish internet for any period of time is noticing the trends that come and go. And lately, I've started to notice what I have been fondly calling stomp clap romances. Now, if you're familiar with the phrase stomp clap music, you might understand what I'm talking about. The sort of like Mumford and Sons, man bun energy, sort of small town, but not in a super country kind of way, vibe that has, permeated music back in, I would say, like the 2015 and maybe a little bit before time period. I feel like it's infiltrating the bookish space now. Books like X's and O's, books like Bourbon and Lies, is books that aren't quite yeehaw small town, definitely have that like lumber sexual essence to them. I want to explore that today. I do. And what better way to do that than putting out the old Kindle Unlimited subscription, reading some of these books and letting you know my thoughts and feelings. So I just think it's going to be fun. I just think it's going to be a good time. It's been a hot second since I've read any books from Kindle Unlimited, and the three that I'm going to be reading are, of course, Bourbon and Lies, X's and O's, and I think it's called like Dust Storm. That is one that I feel like I've seen a lot of people enjoy lately, and it is still available on KU, though I don't know how long it's going to be available there because I think it is getting traditionally published. Now, the book that I'm starting with is Bourbon and Lies. I actually started this one yesterday, and I thought I'd give you like a brief introduction to the book, or like how I'm feeling 50% of the way into this book. Not the definition of a stomp clap romance, but again, it's like small town vibes in Kentucky, so I guess kind of like a southern, down home sort of vibe, but it feels a little bit more stomp clap because there's bourbon, there's running from the government, there's like a suspense vibe to it. I don't know that I would call like Imagine Dragons music very suspenseful, but I don't know, it fits the vibe, okay? So our heroine is in witness protection in the small town in Kentucky called Fiasco. She is being housed by a group of brothers and their grandfather, and she is falling for this gentleman named Grant, who is very grumpy and doesn't seem to want to have much to do with her, but she is getting to know the people in this small town, the way that this small town kind of operates, and also trying to kind of make sense and heads and tails of her life now that she's in this new place. I think she used to be this kind of like straight-laced wedding planner for many years, have sort of a, I guess you could say, brief tryst with like a high school sweetheart that kind of didn't really go anywhere and sort of broke her heart a little bit recently. And so she's in this place where she is like really attracted to Grant, and she's kind of fighting her attraction for him. I mean, he's definitely fighting his attraction for her. I really am enjoying it, I would say, this first 50%. I wouldn't say I'm like 100% sold on the romance, but I think that what I'm really enjoying is this sort of like small town setting. I love that small town is like, I don't want to say an emerging subgenre. I mean, it's been a subgenre for, a while, that sort of like small town vibe that people seem to get drawn to. But I'm really, I guess, enjoying about this one is that it doesn't feel like any small town romance I've read before. It is set in a southern, do we call Kentucky Southern? Is it Appalachian? It has a vibe that I don't think I've read in other books, which I am appreciating, Sometimes you get that sort of sleepy Gilmore Girls East Coast small town vibe. Sometimes you get that Yeehaw Canada vibe. Like, I feel like every small town is a little different. This one feels, I would say, decidedly different than other ones. I've liked the run-ins that our heroine has had with some of the members of this town. I do wish that people were maybe a little bit kinder to her. It feels a little bit forced in certain aspects, like some of the women in town are kind of bitchy because she obviously has kind of a thing for Grant, and Grant has a thing for her, and they're like, why would he want you? You're plus size. And it's like, bitch, shut up. Rude, uncalled for, just nasty behavior. And I'm not saying that wouldn't happen in real life, but I think it would have been cooler had there been more people in this small town to like welcome her with open arms. So anyway, the suspense aspect, I'm curious to see where that goes, because this is kind of marketed as a suspenseful romance. There is a beginning chapter where I was like, interesting. I think that our hero has some trauma in his past. I think that his former partner in the police force passed away, like in his arms, and he's kind of still reeling and dealing from that. It was a woman, I believe. He might be hesitant to fall back in love. I guess there's like this curse on these men, not really curse, but most of the men in this family have not had luck with women. No one is in a relationship with a woman presently. Curious to see where things go. There's a lot here, and I don't want to spoil all of the different aspects of this book, but I feel like I've given you a little taste of what we're dealing with right now. And curious to see again where things head and if the suspense part really comes in. Like, is someone going to come after our heroine? I don't exactly understand what happened to her. It was kind of like a wrong place, wrong time sort of situation, and she ended up having to relocate and assume a new identity. Yeah. So anyway, my camera's dying and I need to go pick up strawberries. I was about to say from the supermarket. I don't know if I've ever said that word before. From the grocery store, from Mr. H-E-B. Or Miss H-E-B, actually. Fun fact, it is named after a man, but H-E-B was really founded by a woman, so we love that. Girl boss shit. Okay. Strawberry time. See you at home. And I'll tell you my final thoughts and feelings on this book.
Okay. I finished our first Stomp Clap romance. I need to stop calling them that. I don't like when I pick up a romance and I'm reading it and I'm invested and I'm excited to see everything unfold, and then we jump real quick into the I love yous. If I audibly scoff or laugh when the first I love you is said in a book, that's not a good sign. And that definitely happened here. I didn't hate this book. Like, I'm probably going to give this one 3 stars. It was totally fine, but I think that there was a lot of relationship development missing, which is kind of odd considering how long this book is. But I feel like there was a lot of physical chemistry between these two and not a lot of actual compatibility between these two. Sure, he likes that she's a Spitfire and whatever, but I don't feel like I saw a lot of complementary traits between the two of them. Granted, I've never written a book, but I feel like that's something that you should be reminded of when you're writing. Or maybe it's something that should come before. Be a prologue for your writing, you know? Let's sit down, let's figure out why these two are attracted to each other, and let's try to bake in just one reason why these two are compatible. Like, you don't have to show me these people falling in love like they would in real life. Like, I'm not asking for a super high degree of realism in a romance, but like, I do want to see reason why these two are so compatible. Like, I'm thinking about an Allie Hazelwood book, for instance. You've got one character who is interested in another because that character is not withholding, but is showing everybody they want to see, you know, like putting on a front for everybody, and your hero sees through that, wants to get to know the real you, gets to know the real you, enjoys it. Like, can we get a little something like that? I think that's been missing for me lately in a lot of these books. It's like we're being told that the romance exists, but we're not actually seeing it on page, which is like disappointing. I didn't hate this though. It was fine. I think the sex scenes were decently hot. I really do like the small town. I actually really liked a side character named Hadley, and I loved that she was really unapologetic about her personality and just about who she was. She owns like a speakeasy against the better judgment of her parents. Love to see a badass female business owner. I mean, HEB, right? And then we've got anyway, okay, I'm not gonna get corny with it, but I did really appreciate that. Before we get into another book, I want to tell you a little bit about the sponsor of today's video, who would probably have helped our girl Hadley quite a bit with her business in this book, because Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or looking to grow, Squarespace makes it so easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, or sell things all in one place. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I'll say it again. I feel like having a website is such a great way to level up if you're someone who's online. I feel like there are so many reasons that I love having a website, but I have to say one of my favorites is that I just have a place to direct people to. I think that if you have a small business, if you own a speakeasy like Hadley in this book, I just feel like it's so nice to be able to direct people somewhere. Especially, okay, if you have like a restaurant, one thing I can't stand is when I'm trying to find the business hours or the menu and I can't because that business does not have a website. It's something that I think we all need. I think the reason that a lot of small businesses don't have websites, and the reason that I have hesitated in the past to create one, is because it can be so challenging to get started, and that is where Squarespace comes in. To build my site, I used Squarespace Blueprint, which is a guided design system, and it was one of the easiest website building processes I've ever tried to undertake. Compare so many different options so easily, tailor your website to your particular needs, and your site is optimized for every device. So if you're on your phone or desktop, the website looks great no matter where you're at. Plus there's like SEO tools, so if someone is trying to look you up online, they can quickly and easily find you. Plus, I know some of y'all are small business owners who are looking to sell things online, and Squarespace makes it so easy to sell products, both physical and digital, with an online store. You'll have flexible payments that make checkout so seamless for your customers if you are trying to sell things online. You can accept credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, and in some countries you actually have the option to do buy now, pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. There's just really never been a better or easier time to build a website. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/chandler.ainsley to save 10% off first purchase of a website or domain. So thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this portion of today's video. I think the next book I'm gonna jump in on is Dust Storm by Maggie C. Gates. I feel like ending with an audiobook is really the key to success, and this is one that actually doesn't have an audiobook right now. So go ahead and pull out Kindle and we can get crackin'. Also, I don't think I got to show you this in the last vlog, but my friend Jen sent me a little charm by Kindle. It goes like in the little charging port while you're not charging your Kindle. And look, it's Nugget. I don't know if it's gonna if it's gonna show you, but look how cute he is. Okay, I'm gonna go read. I'm gonna get cracking. Hopefully this is good. I tried to start this yesterday and I couldn't get into it, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it was just like a one-time thing. Hello, friends. I just had a delightful girl dinner. Just watched the Taylor Swift album announcement on the New Heights podcast, and I'm just living my best life, honestly. I also DNF'd a book, which we'll talk about in a minute, but like, can we talk about life first? Can I tell you about what I had for dinner? I tell you about the race that I signed up for? Things that you probably don't care about, but I'm going to include here for a few reasons. Number one, I actually planned all of my content for the rest of the year. And I kind of mentioned that in the last vlog, but I didn't really get into the details. I had talked to my management team about like, you know, our plan for the rest of the year, sponsorship wise, and just like from a business perspective. But I really had not planned the rest of my year and like what videos I really want to make before the end of the year. And that's something that I feel like I've been better about in past years. I feel like I've been more on top of things, as in like making sure the videos that I have planned go out on time. But I don't feel like I've really been thinking long term, thinking ahead. And I finally got to sit down, plan all my content for the year. I just have so many videos that I'm excited about making that I don't think there's going to be a lot of lifestyle content from me for the rest of the year. So I want to throw little like life tidbits in some of these more like reading focused vlogs, and I hope you don't hate it, and I hope that you can skip around if you don't really love it. But I did just want to give you that heads up because some of you do like the lifestyle content, and that is probably going to take a little bit of a backseat. Mostly again because I have so many like book focused things I'm excited about, and also weird. On the one hand, I feel like my life has gotten exponentially more interesting because I'm doing more in my life, but it's also not things that I necessarily want to share online. There's like less for me to share inherently. Anyway, you're gonna see little updates like this like kind of randomly sprinkled throughout videos. So I'm just saying, maybe just like watch all the videos if you want to be kept abreast of my life, or you can just follow me on Instagram, honestly. But that aside, what did I have for dinner? I know y'all are so excited to know. I had a really big lunch, and I don't normally do this, but I made myself a little snack plate of smoked turkey, delicious, a bunch of pretzel sticks, which I'm just really craving salt right now. I don't know what it is. A Fiber One granola bar because we need the fiber, and also delicious. It's like a Quaker Chewy bar, but with fiber. And what else did I have? Oh, a string cheese. I love a string cheese. Probably have some strawberries later after I take my vitamins and stuff too. For some reason, I am really good at swallowing pills, like really big horse pills. But the like two-sided capsule kind of pills, like the most classic kind of pill you could think of, those get stuck in my throat. So I have to eat something after my pills, and it's gonna be strawberries today, okay? Because I just got strawberries at the grocery store. Okay, sorry. I'm too chaotic right now. It's probably because I'm hyped from that Taylor album release. It's a Max Martin album. It's gonna be good. I'm hyped. Yeah, I had my girl dinner, and I was also just talking to my friend about the race that I signed up for. I did mention it in another vlog, mostly because that vlog got posted today, so it's like the same day for me. Nervous, but I'm very excited, and I'll probably try to like update you a little bit about that throughout like the next, you know, however long it takes for me to get decent at running. But yeah, I saw someone on TikTok talking about Run Disney. I did know that the like princess half marathon and stuff exists. I know people that do those. Scoffed and was like, that's cheesy, that's corny. This is before I was a full-fledged Disney adult. And now that I am one, of course my first race is going to have to be a Disney race, so I did sign up for one today. I'm committed, right? I do have plenty of time to run this race. It is longer than maybe I should be running for my first race, but I am excited about it. I'm also really nervous. I've been like tentatively interested in picking up running for a while. I got running shoes last year at some point. I can't remember exactly when that was. I think it was in the summer. And I've run a little bit here and there, as in like I walk most of the way and then I'll like do a little sprint or something from time to time, but I've never been a distance runner. And yeah, I'm just curious to take on this challenge. This is something that I did want to throw in as a little, not life update, but a kind of growth moment for me. And maybe it's something that you need to hear, or I don't know. I'm just going to mention it. I'm going to timestamp this if you want to like skip ahead. I don't think it's going to be triggering, but you never know. I felt like for a really long time, for the past year really, a lot of my focus around fitness has been physique based, right? I think that's kind of inherent in trying to lose weight. Like, yes, I mostly tried to lose weight for my health, and I cannot express to you what a difference it has made in my life. I am so pleased with the outcomes I've had. I've regulated my cycle, my insulin resistance is down, all these things. But I think it's kind of impossible to separate weight loss from aesthetics. To an extent. So in conjunction with my girl dinner, or the reason that I even had girl dinner in the first place was because Hayden actually just got back from work. He had like a late work night, and I think he went to a happy hour with his coworkers or something like that. Anyway, he's feeding the dogs. It's noisy. I'm in here. I want to get my thoughts out so I can keep reading. But basically,
I think that with weight loss, like there is just an inherent focus on your physical form and what your body looks like, even if you are trying to focus on the performance of your body or just trying to live a healthier life, like you're going to be thinking about the way your body looks. It's kind of inevitable. But I think what's been really refreshing over the past few months is that now I'm done with the weight loss. I can just appreciate my body for what it does for me in its like new form, I guess you could say. I have always loved Pilates ever since I tried it a couple years ago, but the past couple of months I've gotten so into getting better at it. I've leveled up. I'm now taking like level 2 classes. I've been mastering skills that have been challenging for me for a while. I think that's what's been so satisfying. It's been such a long time, it feels like, that I have gotten to do new things with my body. I feel like the last time I got to do this was like when I was in gymnastics or like cheerleading or dance, like getting to try new skills and like finally get good at it and master it. I think that a lot of times in adulthood, it's like we don't try new things, or we do, and if we're bad, we just stop. And I think that I've really found that like childlike joy in, you know, trying things and maybe being bad at it and getting better at it. And anyway, that's part of the reason that I decided to sign up for a race. I was like, you know what? I'm probably going to be shitty at this, but I think it's going to be fun to challenge my body in a new way that doesn't revolve around what my body looks like. It's like, what can my body do? And that's been really liberating and fun in Pilates. And I'm sure it's going to be just as fun, hopefully, with running. I might hate it. I'm not putting any pressure on myself beyond this like one race that I signed up for. If I absolutely hate it, then I'm not going to do anything beyond that, but I will be running this race. So anyway, I'll keep you posted on how that goes. I did want to tell you though why I DNF'd. What is it? Dust Storm. I always want to say Done and Dusted. Dust Storm by Maggie C. Gates. Y'all, this was really not it for me. I tried to start this yesterday and the writing was a little clunky in a way that just like didn't work for me. And when I say clunky, I don't mean that the prose is inherently bad. It's just like it's taking me time to wade through the prose. Sometimes that's good in like a challenging sort of way. Sometimes it's like, I just feel like this is a little awkward. And I was not feeling it. And then we get a true introduction into the heroine. And I was like, yeah, this is simply not for me. The premise is that the heroine is like coming to consult for the hero because of what reason, I don't know. She's coming to the ranch to do some consulting. And the reason that she in specific is going is because she got into a bad media situation. Like she wronged a woman, I guess. I don't know if she actually wronged this person, but the media thinks that she wronged this woman. She needs to lay low, and so she's going to lay low on this ranch in Texas, and she's a bitch. And I love a bitchy heroine. I've read very many bitchy heroines. Elsie Silver does a pretty good job at writing them, but this woman is awful and just snooty and insufferable and really mean to children. And I'm sorry, but if the hero of the story has 2 young children, you can't have a heroine who at any time is an asshole to those kids. And she's like kind of gasped the first thing she said. It wasn't even like obviously offensive or horrible, but like, why are you treating young children like that? Like, that's crazy. And I get that not everybody wants kids. That's totally fine. But like, why again are we having a heroine who is hostile to children? It's it's kind of crazy. Like, that's kind of crazy. And yeah, I just wasn't particularly drawn to it. Though I will say, I do think this is a stomp clap romance in the sense that the hero of the story, he's a cowboy, but he has a man bun, and the man bun's mentioned many a time. So I think this is falling into kind of the Mumford & Sons side of the stomp clap spectrum. Honestly, I think Bourbon and Lies is a little bit Imagine Dragons. I'm gonna say I think that it's that kind of like pretending to be a badass but not actually a badass kind of vibe. And what vibe this next book is gonna have, I don't know. I do know it's about 3 people fucking. So I'm gonna plug in my little AirPods, feed my cats, and get back to you when I'm like halfway done with that one. So let's do it. Okay, well, I can tell you right now, I don't think that stomp clap music could ever reach the levels of eroticism as X's and O's. I didn't really know what this was going into it. I knew that it was polyamorous. I didn't realize it was going to be quite as smutty as it is. Here's the thing. I don't really love the word asshole in a sexual sense, so that was a bit of a red flag for me. That aside, I would say I neither like nor dislike this book. Oh, Pepper's coming. I'm feeling very neutral, even though we're like 50-ish% of the way in, and by we I mean me. I don't know where we're heading. I don't know if we're going to try and pretend like there's more here than just the sex, if this is going to immediately devolve into the sex. At the 50% mark, we are entering into group banging territory, okay? So we've got Nathan. He unfortunately gets into a snowy car crash on the way to his sister's house, and he gets rescued by lumber snacks, right? This woman who, I don't know, is she a logger? Are we gonna call her a logger? She chops wood. This woman named Morgan and her husband Fox end up rescuing this man. They bring him in. The power lines are down. He can't communicate with his sister, who he's supposed to be visiting, and so it's not like they immediately jump into bed together, but Nathan is immediately intrigued by Fox and by Morgan. He has a sexual encounter with just Morgan, well, mostly just Morgan in a scene that I just read, and now they're kind of negotiating, the 3 of them negotiating potentially potentially entering into some sort of like sexual arrangement and agreement together. I think Morgan just gave Nathan head in the last scene, like the time they actually kind of were together, and there was a little bit of like dominance there. She was dominant, say, over him, but he was the submissive in this particular like scene and moment. And yeah, now they're discussing if and how they're going to all collectively get together. And Nathan's apprehensive a little bit because he's never been with a man before, and he just doesn't know in what sort of way he wants Fox to be involved in these encounters. So yeah, lots of words have been said. Even at the beginning of this book, like Nathan comes to from a comatose state and hears pounding on the on the wall, Morgan and Fox fucking each other. So, you know, there's definitely sex from day one, you know what I mean? And it's weird to me because it's like, it is so smutty and so sex forward, and yet there's attempts made at developing connection between these people. What's the point? Honestly, like there's not enough of that for this to be like a true romance to me. I don't want to say why bother, but also like kind of why bother? Like, what? We really need all of that? Is it all totally necessary? I don't know. I mean, I am excited to see what sort of pretzel moves they put on each other and like what ends up happening, right? I can't say that I'm gonna like come away from this being like, wow, this is a life-changing novel. I mean, I say that. Maybe it will be. Here's picky. I'm picky generally, but I think also with polyamorous stories, I get so excited when it's not a why choose situation and where everybody's getting together, but as selfishly, I want it to be like a true romance, you know, with different dynamics between different characters and depth and emotion. And this is really just how many phalluses can we cram in holes, you know? And so it's not quite the same. I'm still gonna listen to the rest of this, I suppose, and then I'm gonna go the fuck to sleep. Okay, so I will check in with you when I'm done, and then I'm gonna edit this here video. Y'all care. I know y'all care. Hello, friends. Can you see I've got a man behind me? She's a real floozy. Holes were crammed. They really explored each other's bodies, and to that I say, congratulations. Was it something that I was super into? I mean, like, I wouldn't say that this disgusted me or like wasn't sexy. It wasn't like the prose. I was gonna say it wasn't that the prose were bad. I don't like rosebud as a descriptor for butthole, but you know, it's like how many ways can you really describe it? I think I've seen like pleated and puckered as well, neither of which I like. So maybe it's just like a word that we shouldn't say. Back entrance, maybe? Now it just feels like you're saying back door of someone's home. Anyway, I think I would give this book like 2.5 or 3 stars, okay? It was fine. It's just not anything that's like really doing it for me. It was very sweet, and there wasn't a lot of conflict, I think. We do have Nathan trying to figure out if he wants to ultimately end up with this couple, if they are people that, yeah, he wants to be with in more than a sexual context. But I think, again, my bitch and gripe with this book is that I never really felt the true chemistry between the three of them. Yes, they definitely were sexually compatible, and I guess they had a physical chemistry, but there was really not much done here to show me that these three would work in a romantic context, and I just really wanted to see that, because I think that's what the author was trying to do here. It was trying to be more than smut. It was also, you know, like a full-length novel. This is not a smutty novella, so I guess I expected a little bit more. It was fine. I think of all three of these books, this was maybe the least stomp clappy. So I don't know like what band I would necessarily compare this book to. Yeah, I mean, it was just erotic, you know? So I feel like using the word erotic means that you liked it almost. Like it was erotic to you. It was not erotic to me. I just want to put that on the record. It was not something that I found particularly sexy. Okay, what a video. What a time it's been. I, you know, didn't find a real success in this here video, but it was fun exploring these books. I feel like I've heard a lot about all three of these. Now, let's kind of review. I would say Bourbon and Lies is one that you could potentially check out if you are really hard up for a small town romance and you like a little bit of romantic suspense. I don't think I touched on this in my like final thoughts, but I do think the romantic suspense element near the end of the book wasn't as well developed as I wanted it to be. But I think if you want something that doesn't feel super high stakes and like stressful, maybe that's something that will appeal to you. Yeah, Dust Storm, I can't. Maybe if y'all convince me that the heroine just like transforms and grows to love these kids, maybe I could do it. But her bitchiness and honestly just like tragic behavior towards those kids was just like not it for me. And then of course X's and O's. I mean, here's the thing. I think if you're a fan of Emily Rath, who writes those like pucking around books where multiple people are having sex, I think that you might enjoy this because it has that same vibe of like there's gonna be a lot of sex,
we're going to have multiple people in the room at the same time, and we're also going to attempt to make it romantic and also low stakes and kind of cozy. A little bit of talk of like mental health, a little bit. Maybe this could be for you. You know, I think there's definitely a market for this book. I don't think it's bad. But I wouldn't say any of these 3 books really struck my fancy, which shouldn't come as much of a surprise because I don't like stomp clap music. I had a fun time with this, regardless. It was a fun way to spend a day. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I guess let me know in the comments down below if there is an emerging trend you're seeing amongst romance that you would like me to check out, because I liked the thematic vibe of this video. But thanks so much for watching. Love y'all so much, and I'll see you in the next one.